Now, let us start with next topic of wireless LAN, that is physical layer. The table that what you are seeing, it tells about the specifications specified by 802.1.11 standard. They use the implementation in terms of infrared, and infrared uses the ISM band, where ISM stands for Industrial, Scientific, Medical Band, and ISM it defines three unlicensed subbands with a range of 902 to 928 MHz. Another range is 2.4 to 2.4835 GHz, and the last range is 5.725 to 5.850 GHz. Now, to distinguish between the specifications, the terms are given as technique used, band, modulation, and data rate supported. Now, the diagram what you are seeing, this diagram, it is the diagram of ISM band. How the ISM band is divided. I think you can see there are three sub bands. The first band is ranging from 902 to 928 megahertz. Second band is from 2.4 to 2.4835 gigahertz, and another one is 5.725 gigahertz to 5.850 gigahertz. So this is how the ISM band is again divided into three different ranges. Now we'll see the first one. The first specification is IEEE 802.11. Now before this, first let me explain about the table. Just you can look into the table where 802.11, the basic version or the initial version, will use a technique either FHSS or DSSS, where FHSS stands for frequency hopping spread spectrum, DSSS stands for direct sequence spread spectrum. And when the technique FHSS is used, it uses the ISM band of 2.4 GHz and the modulation technique called frequency shift keying with the data rates of 1 or 2 Mbps. In the same way, direct sequence spread spectrum uses the same ISM band 2.4 GHz but with a different modulation technique called phase shift keying, and it supports for the same data rate, that is 1 or 2 Mbps. Then we have the IEEE 802.11, which uses the infrared band, and it uses the different modulation technique, that is pulse position modulation, which supports the data rate of 1 or 2 Mbps. Then we have 802.11a specification. It uses orthogonal frequency division multiplexing technique, and it supports the band of 5.725 GHz, and it supports the modulation either phase shift keying or quadrature amplitude modulation with the data rate of 6 or 54 Mbps. Then we have 802.11b. It uses direct sequence spread spectrum technique with a band of 2.4 GHz and modulation technique called phase shift keying, and supports the data rate of 5.5 and 11 Mbps. The last one is 802.11g. It uses the technique called orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. Then it uses the band 2.4 GHz and different modulation technique with the data rate of 22 Mbps or 54 Mbps. Now we'll study one by one in detail. So the first one is the specification, that is the basic specification 802.11, which uses the technique called frequency hopping spread spectrum. The physical layer is implemented based on the technique called frequency hopping spread spectrum, and it uses 2.4 to 4.835 GHz ISM band. The band here it is divided into 79 sub bands, where each band is of 1 MHz and the remaining bands are used as guard bands. Here you can see in the diagram you have the pseudo random sequence. This pseudo random sequence will generate the hopping sequences. Then those hopping sequences are given as an input to frequency synthesizer. Then from the frequency synthesizer they are input to the modulator depending on whether the modulation performed is 2 level or 4 level FSK. Here we are going to use frequency shift keying with 1 or 2 bits per bond, which results in, you can just see the results. So the results is 1 or 2 Mbps of digital data, and it is output of this technique is nothing but 1 megahertz of analog signal. So this is all about FHSS, how it works. It operates in the range of 2.4 to 4.835 gigahertz, and here the range is again subdivided into 79 sub-bands. Each band is having the capacity of 1 megahertz, and remaining bands are used as guard bands. And we have pseudo-random generator which will generate the pseudo-random numbers that is input to the frequency synthesizer. From that it is input to the modulation, and it depends whether we are using the 2 level modulator or 4 level FSK, and the final output is 1 megahertz of analog signal. Now we'll see about the second one. Again the basic or initial version 802.11, which uses a technique called direct sequence spread spectrum, and it uses the band of 2.4 to 4.835 gigahertz ISM band. Modulation technique used here is phase shift keying, where phase shift keying will produce 1 megabond per second, and that 1 megabond per second will allow 1 or 2 bits per bond. The meaning is per signal element will either have a 1 bit or will have a 2 bits for per signal element. If we are having 1 bit for one signal element, then we call it as binary PSK. If we are having 2 bits, then we can call it as quadrature PSK, and that will result in the data rate of 1 Mbps if it is binary PSK, or 2 Mbps if it is quadrature PSK. You can just observe the diagram here. Initially the digital data is the input, then we have the chip Parker sequence, then as a output again we have the 11 to 22 Mbps, then we have the modulator as either the binary PSK or the quadrature PSK. Now the third one, IEEE 802.11 infrared. It uses infrared light in the range of, so the range of light is 800 to 950 nanometers, and it uses the modulation technique called PPM, which stands for pulse position modulation. That is, for 1 Mbps data rate, if the data rate is 1 Mbps, then 4 bit sequence is mapped to 16 bit sequence, and in that 16 bit sequence only 1 bit is made as 1, and all remaining 15 bit are considered as 0. Then the mapped sequence are now converted to optical signals. If there is a presence of light, it is indicated by the bit 1. If there is absence of light, it is indicated by the bit 0. Similarly, if the data rate is 2 Mbps, then 2 bit sequence is mapped as 4 bit sequence, where only 1 bit is sent to 1 and remaining 3 bits are set to 0. The same thing you can just see it in the diagram. In the diagram we have either 1 or 2 Mbps data rate. If the data rate is 1 Mbps, then as I explained, we'll get a 4 bit sequence. That 4 bit sequence gets mapped into 16 bit sequence. If we have the 2 Mbps data rate, then what happens is 2 bit sequence gets mapped into 4 bit sequence. Now we have the next one as IEEE 802.11a. We named it as A, which is a orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. It uses OFDM as a technique, which stands for orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. Orthogonal frequency division multiplexing is similar to frequency division multiplexing, but the difference is, in frequency division multiplexing, each sub-band was allocated to each of the user, but in orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, all the sub-bands are used by only one source at a time. Again here the band is divided into 52 sub-bands, where among those 52 sub-bands, 48 sub-bands are used for sending 48 groups of bits at a time, and the remaining 4 sub-bands are used for control information. And orthogonal FDM uses the modulation techniques as phase shift keying and quadrature amplitude modulation. If it is using the phase shift keying, then it supports the data rate of 18 Mbps. If it uses QAM, quadrature amplitude modulation, then it supports the data rate of 54 Mbps. Now we'll go with the next one. The next specification is 802.11b. It uses direct sequence spread spectrum technique, and the direct sequence spread spectrum technique will support for high rate DSS method here. Hence, instead of saying 802.11b uses direct sequence spread spectrum, we can just call it as it uses high rate direct sequence spread spectrum, and it operates in the range of 2.4 to 4.835 GHz ISM band. High rate direct sequence spread spectrum works similar to direct sequence spread spectrum. Only the difference is encoding method. HR, that is high rate direct sequence spread spectrum, uses the CCK as a encoding method, where CCK stands for complementary code keying. It encodes 4 or 8 bits to one CCK symbol. So if there are 4 bits data, or if there is a 8 bit data, that has been encoded into only one CCK symbol. Now you can just observe the diagram, and it supports the data rate of 11 Mbps and 5.5 Mbps. If it is supporting the data rate of 5.5 Mbps, then it uses the modulation technique called binary phase shift key. If it is having the 11 Mbps data rate, then it is going to support the quadrature phase shift key. The same thing we have represented in the diagram. So the input is either the 5.5 or 11 Mbps digital data. Then what we are doing, we have the multiplexer 1:4 or 1:8 multiplexer. Then it is given input to the CCK selector, whether it wants 5.5 data rate or whether it wants 11 Mbps data rate. Then it is given as an input to modulator based on whether the modulation technique is QPSK or BPSK. Then we have the last one, IEEE 802.11g. It defines forward error detection and correction, and it uses orthogonal frequency division multiplexing technique and operates in the range of 2.4 to 4.835 GHz ISM band. And it is a new specification, and it supports for the data rate, that is highest data rate of 22 Mbps or 54 Mbps. And it overcomes the noise problem which was occurring in all the previous types of LAN, and it also uses multiple input and multiple output technique. With this we completed with physical layer of wireless LAN.